Good morning, everyone. It's Brenda Quintana, and I am here today with a special guest. You
Hello.
might recognize him. He looks a little scared because I roped him into doing another live with me where we're going to make some cards. It's also Casing Tuesday. Oh, do you know what else today is?
I'm really bad with holidays, so I have no
Oh,
idea.
you don't know what today is?
I've lost track of the days. It's
It's
tomorrow, it's today, it's yesterday.
eh,
Those are the 3 days of the week.
no. You know what today is. It's
I should.
it's Instacart Day. Tuesday is
Oh,
Instacart
right,
Day.
right. How can I forget?
So yeah, it's kind of funny because actually we've kind of like pinned down Tuesday as our Instacart Day, and it always seems to happen that my shopper starts to shop during my live. So I might be answering my phone and selecting replacements during this. And I apologize. I shouldn't have made it Tuesday, but it's a good day of the week to get groceries both from a delivery sense of the standpoint of the store of when it gets stock. And I don't like to do Monday. And Wednesday's getting a little late into the week. So, yeah, we've kind of pinned down Tuesday as our Instacart day. So I get really excited because, yeah, it's like something new in our lives. And Monday, of course, is garbage day.
Yeah.
Nicholas is not usually up for the beginning of
I yeah, okay, you're that's fair. That is
yeah.
quite fair. I'm usually
and
not
and
up.
actually I'm very lucky that he's up this morning because
I get up at before 9, 10. It's 10.
okay,
I get up
so
usually before 10.
to be fair, Nicholas is a university student and
Yes.
he is sequestered here at home. We brought him home and he finished exams, was it last week?
Yeah, last Friday. Yeah.
So he finished exams and now he has a week off before he starts his co-op job.
Yeah, so I have a co-op job starting Monday, so I'm pretty excited for that. But
So
until
that's why
then,
I pinned him down this week because I knew if I didn't get him this week, next week he'd be like, "Oh, mom, sorry, I've got a job to do." So yeah, I'm kind of excited. He's going to be working from home for now, and I know it's not been 100% easy for you, right? To yeah,
you just kind of have to go with the flow. I mean, we're all in this together because we're all kind of isolated, except for the people who are isolating. But that's a whole different thing.
we're all in this together, but we're together apart, right?
Yes, yes, exactly. So,
It's not crazy and it's not perfect, and but I'm really happy to have you here today.
yep, and I am here.
You are here and you are up and you are
Yes,
barely awake, but that's okay,
I'm
right?
awake.
Okay, we've got some. Okay, uh, Karen is from New Jersey and she has sun finally. I'm happy that you have sun. And Karen calls it's Blur's Day, which,
That's a good description.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah. Oh, and Amy says she loves it when we stamp together. That's so nice.
awesome.
Yeah, Karen, it's Nicholas's first year of college is over. So the at least the study part because now he's on work term. So he has told me that it's kind of over, but the work term also counts. So like he's in a unique situation
Yeah,
where we're still
academically, my first year is over though,
yeah,
and I've been passing on my courses just fine. So
yeah. He's in
on to
a
next year.
very tough program. He's
No,
just studying
it's
engineering,
it's not
so
that
we're
hard.
we're looking to get through the engineering thing. All right, I'm sure you didn't come to listen to us banter back and forth. Maybe you
No.
did, but we also are going to stamp cards. So let's talk a little bit about Casing Tuesday before my Instacart starts to bing. So today's card that we are copying is right here. And I love this card. Maybe from the outset you are thinking it's going to be a little bit difficult, but this is not. This is an easy card. I love this card. Two big circles, one big circle, one small circle on the card. It's just perfect for an image and a greeting. And as you'll see in a moment, you can do a greeting and a greeting. And we'll show you our cards, and then I'm going to let you guys guess which card was Nicholas's and which card was mine, and then we'll stamp them. But okay, let me show you the sketch for today. So here's the sketch. It's so simple. You'll love this one. You'll definitely have to participate in this one. because it's so easy. And if you look at the link down below, you will find a link to our Facebook group. If you're not already a member, please join, and you can join in with all of us copying cards. You can be a lurker. You don't have to post anything, but we encourage you to post so you can learn and grow with us. Okay, let me switch that. Okay, are you ready? We're gonna switch cameras, and I'm going to have you guess which card is mine and which card is Nicolas's. Okay, let's do this. All right, Nick, scoot over just a little bit. So we've got the two cards here. We've got this one here using the You Always Deliver stamp set, and then this one using the Sailing Home. So if you have any guesses, which one is Nicolas's and which one's mine, and I'll talk about the cards while you guess. So the first card is with You Always Deliver. And this is a stamp set that's going to be retiring. So if you like it, you need to get it now. Stampin' Up! Guarantees stamp sets will be available till May 22nd, 2020. But after that point, they might be sold out. So if you want this stamp set, it's really cute. It's got the little dog in it. And it's got a lot of great greetings for right now. And I think that's kind of a theme for our cards today, like delivering lots of positive thoughts, delivering sunshine your way. This is a great stamp set for that. So I would definitely pick that up if you don't already have that. And then we're also using, this one's with a Sailing Home stamp set. This stamp set and bundle, or the matching dies. I shouldn't say the bundle is carrying over. I don't think the bundle is carrying over, but the stamp set and dies are carrying over separately. And so if you like this, you'll still be able to get it in a while. But I actually just picked this up recently because my dad used to sail, and it's his 80th birthday coming up, and I wanted to make a special card for him. This is not that card. Today's cards are kind of themed for like hope and sending out to people that we care about. So I will have my dad's birthday card. I've already designed it, and I will share that with you guys later this week. So I'm going to see. All right, let's see what people say. Okay. All right. D says, Sailing Home is Brenda's, and You Always Deliver is Nick. Karen says, mine is You Always Deliver. Amy says, Brenda's is You Always Deliver, and Nicholas is Sailing Home. All right, and what is it? Drum roll.
I designs You Always Deliver.
And I designed Sailing Home. And I actually have to say that I love Nicholas's card more than mine. I designed mine first. And then last night, Nicholas designed his. And I'm like, I like your card better. Boo-hoo. Yeah. So anyway, both cards are cute. But, you know, whenever you have a dog on a card, oh gosh, like, yeah, Nicholas wins. He gets...
Well, you didn't even show the inside.
Oh, yeah, show the inside.
Show the inside. So the inside, I thought, you know, we could all use a little positive thought right now. So
Isn't that cute?
Put delivering positive thoughts with the dog and little hearts coming out.
Yeah, you can also see there.
Yeah,
just so in case you.
Sure.
All right, so let's get to stamping our cards, and I'm going to stamp mine first, or should I get?
You should stamp yours first.
Yeah, okay, let's stamp mine first. Oh, and one other thing you need probably is circles. So these are the layering circles dies. You could, you know, use the scallop circles as well in this design, or you can use the smooth circles. I love these because they're all nesting. So no matter what size your image or your greeting, or your image and your image, you can totally like mess around with that. One other thing I wanted to mention, we have in the original card, we have the circles arranged differently. So, and in Nicholas's card too, he arranged his circles differently. So, you know, if you have an image with a dead spot, that's where you can put the smaller circle. And so that's what we did on our cards. So don't feel like you have to keep the circles in the order that they are on the card, because you can just move them around. Or guess what? What if you don't have circles? Why don't you use squares or rectangles? Because it's easy to cut those. So you could do the same with squares or rectangles. But circles, you know, I really like them. But not everyone has everything. So we have to be sensitive to that fact too. All right, so I am going to grab my little supply basket. Leaning tower of basket. All right, so these chairs are really, really low. Yes. So we could scoot side by side. Yeah, you know what? Why don't you grab me my bigger chair so I can sit up a little bit so while I stamp. We'll switch spots for a second. All right, so the way I did this one is the second largest circle, and I'm using my Night of Navy ink pad, and I'm just going to come in, ink this up, and stamp this fairly close to the bottom of my circle. And then I'm going to take some Stampin' Blends, and oh, I do need this one, I need this one, I think this one, and this one. Why don't you grab a chair and sit close by? So I'm just going to use the crumb cake light brush tip, and I'm just hitting the boat, the bottom of the boat, and the sails, because I want to kind of antique this. It's not supposed to be like so bright. It's supposed to have like kind of muted colors. That was my thought. And then when Nicolas did his card and all these bright colors, I was like, oh, my card looks so kind of dull afterwards. But this was my original plan. Then I'm going to hit the bottom of the boat again with just a little bit of the balmy blue. So it's just kind of reflecting the water a bit. And then I'm going to go with the pumpkin pie light. And I'm just going to hit the sail just a little bit. So you can see it's not a very bright orange when you do the, when you have the crumb cake as a background. It kind of mutes it, and that's kind of what I was going for. And I need to put these back for Nick. I think this and this and this. Okay, so that is the extent of the coloring I did. I kept it very, very simple. Then I also stamped the greeting, and this is my greeting of hope. It says, let hope be the anchor through the storms of life. So I'm just going to stamp that right on here. I need to move this right into the center. Okay, notice how Night of Navy is so dark it almost looks black, but it's got that slight blue tinge to it. And you can also use these ink pads, the colored ink pads from Stampin' Up, with your Stampin' Blends. So that's a nice thing that we can do. All right, so now for my card base, I did a tent fold, so it's 11 inches by 4 1/4, scored in half at the 5.5 inch mark. And then I've got a piece of the Sail Away Designer Series paper, and I'm just going to add a little bit of Tombow to the back. And if there's any blobs, I just like to break them up a little bit so that they don't make a blobby mess. And then I'm just going to center this on the front. Nicolas, if you want, you can man the comments if you want to check to make sure that there's anything we missed on here.
Good morning, Betty.
I'm glad that everyone's joining us this morning. So then since this is the second largest circle, I cut a Night of Navy large circle here, and I'm just going to add these two together. Make sure they're centered. Okay. Oh, you know what? I should have actually stamped my anchor beforehand, but I'm going to do it right now. And I need balmy blue. So I'm balmy blue background. The paper's got balmy blue in it. And now I'm going to stamp the anchor full strength in balmy blue down here at the bottom. And you know what? One little thing I did with my rubber stamps is I did give them a little trim, just like I trimmed my husband's hair last week. I trimmed my rubber stamps just a little bit because I noticed I was catching an edge. So if you notice that there's extra rubber and you want to cut that off, that helps so that you don't catch ink on the edge and you accidentally transfer it to the paper. You don't want to do that.
Oh,
So
and good morning, Anna, Cindy, Christy. Oh, and Betty. Okay, so you guys are from, wow, all over the place. Indiana, Wisconsin, Oregon.
yeah, sometimes they've got people from all over the world, so that's really cool.
Wow.
So I'm gonna stamp, or not stamp, I've just put glue on the back of my big circle, and I'm just gonna put it just a little bit above the anchor and like maybe half an inch in from the side of the card. And then I'm going to grab my other circle. See how easy this card is? Like, it's really, really easy. It's not a hard card. I love the circles, it just really adds something. And then I've got a little bow I tied earlier with baker's twine. And guess what? This white baker's twine is retiring. And it's kind of like a staple. Like if you don't have the right color of ribbon, this is kind of my go-to twine, to use. So I'm kind of sad about that. But I'll probably be using a lot of the white crinkled seam binding because that's coming back from the mini catalog. But, I like just adding like a little bit of a baker's twine. But my bow got a little kind of crazy. It's got a little curl to it. It's being rebellious today.
Hello. So, Dee, you're watching from Missouri. Wow, that's, again, central United States. Good tip about the trim the stamp, maybe not the hair.
No, my husband's hair looked great. It did. Well, he jokes that I chopped one side a little shorter, which I did. There was one spot which I didn't get 100% right, but it was my first time cutting his hair, so I thought I did pretty good. At least he doesn't look like Einstein anymore with his hair sticking out. So there are my cards. So I think they turned out pretty well. Very easy. So if you can do this, a card like this, I think anyone can do it. Just look for an image that's kind of, that you can put in a circle, and you find one of the greetings. Usually you have stamps, images, and greetings in the same set, and then you can bring that together like that. Yes. So I am going to leave the stage, the stamping stage, and I'm going to let Nicolas come in with his.
Oh God, are you sure that's a good decision?
All right. You get to stamp, Nick.
All right, and hello Marie and Jane. You're watching from Staten Island, Nebraska. Wow. We have viewers from all over.
No, Staten Island, New York.
I said in Nebraska. I realized
okay,
Staten Island is not in Nebraska.
Okay, good.
I hope you understand.
Yeah, okay.
I know geography.
Okay, good.
Okay. So, anyways, this is my card. Hopefully,
I'll tell you the dimensions as
right. Okay, so if I was able to design this and put it together in an hour, I think everyone should be able to do it in like 15 minutes because, I'm a bit slower. I'm learning. So we have this, I forgot the order we did this in, but we have this card base, which is green. But
it's mint macaron.
It's mint macaron, not green. And I really like this because it complements this.
Garden Lane paper?
Garden Lane paper. I should really learn these. Because it was a nice secondary color in the Garden Lane paper, and it really, I felt, gave a nice border. If we put this other darker green in here, which is...
Garden green?
Garden green. I feel like it would just been overpowering, a bit too dark, and I really wanted to make a light card, a light, really happy card for these times.
So do you want to glue that together already?
Yes, let me glue these two together.
Okay. I know the dimensions for your Garden Lane paper. It's 4 inches by 5¼ inches. So, and then his card base, Nicolas did a side folding card base, which is 8½ by 5½ and scored in half at the 4¼ inch mark. So I love the Garden Lane paper because it's got all those greens in it. So really, it's a great background paper because it's it ends up being kind of a neutral because of all the greens. It's a very monochromatic sort of paper. So really, you could have used many of the patterns for this card or other cards in the future because it does kind of end up being a neutral you want to stand up, if that's easier for you.
No, I think
Yeah.
I got that.
This chair is a little higher so you can kind of see what you're doing.
Awesome. Okay, so now we have that, and also make sure you flatten it out and get rid of any of the big globs of your
Glue?
glue
Yeah.
because
Otherwise, your mom will yell
yeah,
at
yeah. And if not, your moms will yell at you
you. Yeah.
because you don't want to mess up the glue. Okay, so now that we're done with the card, we're gonna
We can. I'm gonna move this
yes.
aside.
Sorry, that's for the inside. That's
yeah.
a surprise for later. Okay, so right now we're gonna go with the stand set you always deliver. We're gonna use we're gonna start with this postman in the bigger circle.
And Nicholas is using Memento Tuxedo Black ink.
Yes, so, just
yeah,
regular
it's
good
black,
old black
ink. It's our go-to black ink.
Right.
And
one thing that I don't think it's too apparent on the card, but the one thing I did is I made sure instead of just centering it, I made sure I put it off a little bit to the left so we have some room to balance out with the flowers.
That's a good little tip.
Okay, so we're going to just stamp that real quick.
You want to stand up?
Nope.
Not enough pressure?
I think so.
Ooh,
awesome.
That's really good. That was really crisp.
Thank you. Okay, I've been learning. This is my second Casing Tuesday, so I'm starting to learn.
And remember, this one's a smaller stamp, so you want to use a slightly lighter touch. So like, don't squish down quite as hard. Like, I mean, you still want even pressure, but you don't want to.
And another advantage of trimming your stamps is because, like, for instance, like this, when you're trying to line up two of these, like two stamps together, it gets really challenging. But it's a lot easier with trimming stamps.
Well, Nicholas is using photopolymer, so it's not with photopolymer. There's a little bit more. They've done a better job of getting closer to the edge of the image, whereas with a rubber, sometimes you have like one side that's. Ooh, you did pretty good.
Awesome. Yes, but I've been.
Do you want us to do the dog while
yes,
you're at it?
Yes, let's do the dog. Yeah, but I remember back in the day when clear mount wasn't available and it was all just wooden blocks.
Oh yeah, that was.
Those
were the olden days.
I know. I've been around the stamping block for a while.
Yeah, I've been stamping. Been a demonstrator 14 years. That's crazy.
14 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a long time. I think you've got everything. So now you just need to color.
Right. So, okay.
We've got a lot
We have a ton of colors because I like color and I like light and happy. So
do you want to close that ink pad, Nicholas? Because that's making me a little nervous.
I am so sorry.
No, it's just that I don't want you to have inky fingers and then have you ruin your work. So
okay.
Why don't you bring all the blends over into the picture?
Okay, we have a ton. I'm not even going to pretend I know.
I'll tell you the colors as you use them. So
I'm going to flip them over.
Oh,
wait.
It says it on the side. Why don't you pick up the color?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
It's hard to read. A lot of people label theirs.
All right. So I'm going to start off with Light Night of Navy.
Yeah.
We're going to use this for the pants and the hat on the postman.
Yeah, and Nicholas is smart. He always puts his cap on the top of the other cap, which I always forget to do. So it's kind of like, that's a good little tip. He did that automatically.
Yes. You see, I know like the stakes for me stamping are a lot different from the stakes in most of you stamping because if I mess up any of the equipment, it's not like I just have to order something. I have to tell my mom, and that's pretty scary.
Oh, that's okay. I am just so happy that you're stamping with me. And it's kind of fun because, you know, I get to see stamping from a different perspective. When I used to teach classes, I had people around me that hadn't stamped as much. And so I could learn from them, like what their, you know, the hard parts of stamping for them, you know, and it's always good to have someone there so you can kind of balance and see like, oh, that's where a stumbling block is. And so I really enjoy stamping with other people. Right now that's really hard. Do you want to do the hat?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I get the pants all nice. So sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I enjoy watching and like trying to learn from someone else, because after a while, since I've been stamping so long, and I've been actually stamping longer than 14 years. I've been a demonstrator for 14 years, but I was a customer for a while before that. And so that one, you're coming up to
Okay.
Balmy Blue
Balmy
Light.
Blue.
Like,
gosh, how do you know all these names?
it's my job.
It is your job.
Of course, sometimes like I know those colors, but sometimes I totally forget the paper names and stuff too, because after a while there's only so many different names that you can come up with. So a lot of the words like garden and they're used over again. So I get a little confused and I don't learn the names very well. So this is the stamp set with the postman on it instead of you always deliver.
Yes, exactly.
It's hard to remember those names.
And yep, just trying to make sure I don't color over the lines on live camera because that would be a bit embarrassing.
And on this one we're not really doing a lot of shading, but like the Stampin' blends are just awesome because the alcohol in them blends. Do you need the blue?
Yeah, sorry, I just forgot this little corner right here.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right.
Don't want to forget that.
Okay. So the Stampin' blends are very, very forgiving in terms of coloring. You don't need to be a coloring expert. They just look good and bright and lovely. And they can also look very artistic if you have an artistic inclination, because then you can do the shading. We're going to do the shoes.
Okay, yes, we're going to use a dark smoky slate. I'm trying to learn the names for the shoes.
And using the dark smoky slate is a little bit better than the black, because when you use the black, it tends to obliterate the detail. So sometimes I go a little bit lighter than what I would. Like if I wanted a black shoe, I go a little lighter so I can still see the detail.
Okay.
And what are you going to do now?
So I'm going to do a light crumb cake. Oh, that's a fun name. Okay, so I'm going to do a light crumb cake on the messenger bag and also the spots of this dog right here.
Okay.
So we'll start with the dog.
This card is like really, really color heavy, right? Because
yes.
but if you wanted to, you could also just stamp him in black and white and not go all crazy. Or you could like spotlight one thing, just color the flowers and have everything else be in black and white. So you don't necessarily have to color everything. But actually, coloring's kind of a fun activity to do right now.
Yes, it is. I mean, we're all inside during the quarantine, and we have the time to color.
Lisa's here. I have been neglecting the comments. Sorry, I need to go back. Okay. Okay, so we got Marie said she never thought about the idea of trimming the stamp. Yeah, like back in the day, we had those rubber stamps on wood blocks and we always used to trim them. In fact, they weren't die cut, so we had to trim them right off the rubber sheet. So for me it's natural, but for people who have started stamping since everything was die cut, it's a different story, right? And Betty says she loves those colors, Nick.
Oh, well, I'm so glad. I'm accepted in the community.
And Anna says Nick is so cute. I don't know. She says she doesn't know all the names of the papers either.
Thank you. I'm glad I'm not alone.
And Dee said you had a great tip about the centering, like not centering the little guy. And Karen says, I think you should join for more of the Casing Tuesdays because she enjoys watching the two of us together.
Aw. Well, I'll definitely try. I'm certainly here for the next little bit. So.
It just depends on like what his schedule is. I think they probably want you to work.
Yeah, unfortunately, I do have a 9-to-5 job, so.
And Lisa's here. Do you remember Lisa?
Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah.
Lisa. Lisa became a customer and friend later, of course, as we. She found me as a customer and she became a friend when we lived in Tennessee in Memphis. And since then, I moved up to Boston and she moved to Nashville. and she just moved again. She has a new place. I'll be excited to hear more about her new place. But yeah, so Lisa remembers Nicholas when he was a little smaller.
Yes, and just to update everyone, I used a dark crumb cake for the pot, the mustache, the hair, and I'm also going to do on the dog.
Okay. All right. And okay, let me go on. Um, oh, and Betty said yes, and pretty soon we get to know the new in color names. Yeah, if you're a demonstrator right now, you already can see the catalog online, and so the new colors are coming out in June, and I'm very excited about that. I always love having new colors to work with. I think, you know, I can't remember what year it was that Stampin' Up! Did that. Maybe we've been doing that maybe for 10 years already, like new colors. And I just love it because it's always refreshing to have new colors come into our collection. So, and Karen says coloring is therapeutic for her. Yeah. It's like a lot of people love to color. So, just sometimes for a video, like it might be a little long, but today's kind of fun, and we're making cards. Lisa says all her stuff is packed except for her markers so she can color. That's great. So Lisa just moved in, so she is probably still living out of boxes and stuff. So um, uh, oh, and Amy says, as a joke, Nicholas could have the dog chasing the postman.
Yeah, I thought about doing that. You know what? We can quite maybe
All
a little
right.
bit tough right now.
We'll have to see if we can. Yeah, like we were talking. Nicholas was saying last night that the dog could be positioned differently, but we didn't have time at that point. Like it was already getting close to 9 o'clock, and I like to be in bed by 10 o'clock, because if I'm not in bed by 10, like I am not a night person. I am much more of a morning person, and so by like it was getting closer, like it was 8:30 or something, and I'm like, I don't want to redo the card right now. And Nick was like, yeah, okay, we'll just leave it, because we had everything glued down. So I didn't want to like keep tweaking it. Sometimes when you tweak a card, you can just make it so much better. You can like keep working on it and stuff, and if you leave all the layers sitting there for a day and you keep working on it, and that's really fun to do. But Casing Tuesday is also about using an existing card, to give yourself a leg up so it doesn't take forever.
And yes, I just used a dark petal pink for the skin tone. That's just something I found that works, but obviously, that's interchangeable for any skin tone you want. And now I'm going to go on to dark mint macaron to do the leaves and the little flowers.
Karen says she's always loved watercoloring, but blends have become her new favorite. And like I agree, like for a while we didn't have alcohol. Excuse me, I have a frog in my throat. For a long time we didn't have alcohol markers, and so I was doing a lot of watercoloring. And now that we have the blends, I'm kind of like all about the blends and all about just using them right now. So okay, you're switching colors too.
Yes, I'm going to light daffodil delight. So much alliteration. To do
some of the flowers.
Some of the flowers.
You've got the wrong end.
No, I like using this.
You liked using the brush
tip? I like
tip?
using the fine tip for like really small and hard to get places.
But you have the brush tip on.
Or sorry, the brush tip. My bad.
Really?
Yeah, no,
okay. I thought you were using the bullet tip for everything. See, I don't even know what he's doing. I'm just like blabbing, reading the comments over here, and he's...
No, I found that the brush tip allows me to have a bit more accuracy than the bullet tip, and it really helps me get into those nooks and crannies.
Yeah. You just have to be careful with the brush tip to like use it on the side so that you don't break it down, right?
Yes, I mean...
Yeah. And Marie asked the question, will watercolor pencils work? Yes, absolutely. Use what other coloring tools you have on hand. The one thing with watercolor pencils that I would recommend, if you're going to be using like if you're going to be using like an aqua painter to blend, then I would switch to StazOn for my stamping, because Memento is not waterproof. So, or it's going to probably smudge if you add too much water. If you're using the watercolor pencils with like a blender pen, you might be able to get away with just the Memento ink. But yeah, use whatever coloring tools you have on hand. I would just maybe switch to make sure that you're using the correct ink for the coloring medium that you're using. Oh, and Nic?
Yes, and I used the light lovely the light lovely lipstick for the heart and the two lips right there.
Oh, very nice.
Yes.
Okay,
So after that whole smorgasbord.
Oh, you know what? Did I not cut you a garden green circle? I did
did
not.
cut me a
Oh,
garden
okay. Let
green
me do
circle.
that. Hand me the circles.
Back
there.
Yes.
And you know what? In the meantime, why don't you stamp the inside of your card?
Right. So for the inside of my card, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do delivering lots of positive thoughts and a little dog on top of the flowers because I thought, the dog's running inside of the postman. He's eager to get the flowers, and he's very happy that he got them. And I thought this is just a great card, if you want to send this to a significant other or a friend that you're missing. It's a great card during this, these times to send. So I'm going to use this Memento Tuxedo black ink again.
And I cut you a circle. I think that's the right size.
Yes, awesome. There we go. Appears to be.
All right.
And then I'm going to center this as best I can, making sure I stamp it the right side up because I can't flip this upside down.
The cool thing about Stampin' Up cardstock is it has two sides.
That is true.
And
However,
only Stampin' Up cardstock has that. No, I'm just
yes,
kidding.
It is the only paper in the world, in fact, to have a second side of it. Very handy.
That's one of the jokes that that I first heard about. And Stampin' Up cardstock has two sides. I'm like, yep.
Awesome. So we're gonna get our dog again.
Okay, I should read the comments,
you should
right?
pay attention to your audience.
Oh my God! Audience. Yes. Okay. Sorry. Okay, and Marsha just joined us. Good morning. And Karen says your coloring is amazing.
Aw, thank you, Karen.
And Betty likes the inside of your card.
Thank you. Yeah, and I'm gonna just use these little hearts right here. I'll show you just one sec.
And yeah, like Nicolas had to show me up and stamp an inside to the card too, right?
I like doing it inside because I don't do that many cards. So.
I know, and I'm like afterwards I was like I should have done an inside too.
I'm so sorry.
Maybe I'll do one afterwards, but
right. So this is the inside of the card. I'm not gonna.
Oh, you're out of camera a bit. Move it up a bit.
My bad. So this is the inside of the card. I'm not going to bother going through the whole coloring process again because that just takes a while. But you guys get the idea. You can color it the same way that we colored the previous flowers and dog.
Everything is colored the same way. And the hearts, which weren't on the front, you just use lovely lipstick for.
Yes.
Okay. And one little tip. What do we always remember to do before we move forward? Look at your workspace. What's wrong?
Oh shoot! You should always make sure you close up your beautiful Memento Tuxedo black ink because your mother will yell at you, regardless if she's 5 feet away from you or a half country away. Okay.
But why do we close up the ink pad?
Because we don't want it to dry out.
And?
Oh shoot!
Why?
Can I phone a friend?
Bring, bring. No. Anyway, the reason we try to cover it up is because it's so easy to knock into it when you're doing the next step. And then you might get ink on your card or on your fingers, and then you can spread it onto your card unwittingly, and then you can make a mess of your project. So that's why if you're stamping and you're done the stamping portion, just always remember to close up your ink pad so that you don't mess up your project. Okay. Want to tell everyone what you're doing?
Yes. So I just put some glue on the back of this circle that I just colored, and now I've glued it to a
garden green.
Garden green. That's the back of this base, and I feel like this is more of the primary color of this card, so I feel like it looks a lot better when we place it down right there.
Do you want to see if we can change the positioning of the dog?
Sure. Yeah, we can.
Let's see if it works. Why don't you try and lay it out
So do
and
you want to do it like that?
yeah, you
Or
could. Like I'm just having a look because you want this and you might want to do like that.
yeah, let's do that.
And where would you put the bow? Where is our little basket with the bow?
Our
Oh,
bow is right over here.
so why don't
This
you
is some
arrange that for?
lovely, what's the ribbon again?
It's peacock and old olive reversible ribbon.
Not even gonna remember the whole name of that, but it's this beautiful ribbon.
Where are you going to position that just so you can see?
We could
Keep it in the same spot.
keep it in the same
And let's have a
spot.
look. So yeah, we can.
So currently these are our two card faces. And
Yeah,
the best part, what I really enjoy
yeah,
about
that
this
looks
Casing
good.
Tuesday is that it's so easy to just, because you have all these pieces cut out, it's really easy to rearrange the card and make it look like a different card, but you haven't really done that much more work.
Yeah.
Right?
So why don't you finish gluing it down? I think I like that.
Okay, so
That
let me
layout.
get rid of this.
Yeah.
Try to,
Figure out.
yep. Okay, it shows just a little bit of that diamond right there. So
I keep checking my messages to make sure that I'm not getting binged by the Instacart person. All right, let me read some more comments while you're gluing.
okay.
Okay. All right. Karen says she always does the insides and the envelopes. Yeah, that's the cool thing about stamping and what other people can't do when they buy a card is they don't have the images from their card to put on the envelope. So it's nice. Oh, I think you're a little
Yeah, I know.
scoot in a little bit. I think you'll be fine.
Yes, it was that one.
Okay. Good. Okay. And Betty says it's always a good idea to stamp your inside before you glue it to the inside. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Because in case you make a big mistake, then you haven't like already glued the thing down and you don't have to pry up the piece or glue another one on top of it. Yeah, it's just better to do it ahead of time. Marie says her biggest problem being organized. It's the only way to go. Yeah, sometimes you want to scoot him off just a little bit so he's not on.
there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me see. Like now I'm totally being like a yeah. You just stick it down where you want it. I'm like a control freak. Nicholas will tell you.
No. Is that the right answer?
Yes, that's the right answer.
Good.
Oh, and this is another thing that I asked him. I said, you know what, Nick? I think I've lost some weight during this quarantine. You got the right sheet.
Yes.
And you know what Nicholas said? I said, okay, let me just say that. Hey, Nick.
Yes.
I think I lost some weight during this quarantine because I'm not snacking as much.
Oh my gosh, I think you did.
Yes. See, that's the right answer. He didn't even pause or hesitate. He just said yes. And that's the right answer. That's funny. I was like, he didn't even look at me. He's just like, yeah, Mom. So, all right.
Yes,
Nick,
and we're using a dimensional.
actually, it's a mini dimensional.
A mini dimensional, sorry. I'm just going to put this on the back of our bow right here. Okay. I'm going to stick it right here.
Top.
On the edge.
Very nice.
Awesome. So now we have our two card faces and...
So you can decide whether or not the dog is kind of like a friendly dog or an aggressive dog. Do you want to glue this to the inside too?
Sure, yeah. We have the time here.
And then we'll switch back over to on camera. Let me read some more comments. So DS, do you have a good tip for your glue not drying out in the tip when you're working on a project with several steps? Not really. I do like to keep my glue on its side, like right here. I don't like to leave it like this because then the glue's not ready. It's down at the bottom. But if you leave it on its side, if you leave it open and you're doing like an hour-long project or half an hour-long project, it might start to get clogged up again. I keep a paper clip really close by, an open paper clip. Grab the paper clip by the tissue box right there. It's kind of stuck. So yeah, like I kind of keep like a paper clip ready so I can just, unclog it. But keeping it on its side helps a lot because then it's kind of right, the glue is right there. So yeah, it does tend to clog up a little bit, but so okay, let's bring our cards in. Why don't you grab my cards? They're
Yes.
back there. And
Here.
one last, so yeah, like I think both of them, look how different our cards turned out. And they're both using the same layout, like they both have the same starting card. So isn't that cool how you can take a layout and make cards that look completely different, but they still have the same starting point? And both of us didn't take a super long time creating these cards because we had that starting point. And even Nicholas, who's not very experienced stamping, can create a card very quickly. So make sure you use your catalog as a way to give you a leg up when you're making your cards. Okay, I'm gonna switch back over to us. Here we
Hello.
are, and I'm now on the little short chair over here. So
It's okay. I can pretend I'm like 6 feet.
yeah, okay. All right, so let's check, make sure we
Oh man.
so Amy
Lots of
says
cards.
it's that ribbon, the peacock ribbon, this ribbon right here.
Yes, that ribbon.
That ribbon is her favorite ribbon. I love that ribbon too. It's
Yeah.
very iridescent. It's carrying over too, so that's a good thing.
Ooh, that's a bonus.
And Marcia says the garden green really made it pop. Oh, and Karen said, how about the bow on the bottom right? Yeah, we could have moved the bow
Yeah,
around too. We could. But now that it's stuck down, I don't want to move it. But yeah, the nice thing is once you've laid out the circles, you can move that bow around and see where you like it the best. Dee says she likes the tip about the glue on the side and the paper clip. Yeah, like just keep a paper clip there. And that's my paper clip just for my Tombow. I just leave it there. It's there all the time. I actually have it sitting on a old hotel key card so it doesn't stick to my work surface and get everything
You do,
Mickey.
yeah.
Yeah. I back. You remember when we used to travel?
Well, when?
Yeah, like
Wait.
like yeah. Do you remember?
Like go outside?
Yeah,
No, that can't be right. We can't go outside.
that's right. Not right now, but
Wait, but we went outside and saw like other people?
yeah,
That's crazy.
I know.
What
Maybe
happened?
I know, it's like so weird. We used to love to travel, and now it's like, wow, like it's the thought of traveling now. It just is fraught with so much anxiety, right? But like we used to like. I mean that was one of the things that we loved about my job with Stampin' Up is that we earned trips and Nicholas got to go on them. But now you've kind of made it so you can't go on trips because you're
I just have a lot of work to do.
5 years of time that you have to do at engineering school.
Yes. Fun
Yeah.
times.
Yeah. Well, maybe there'll be a trip in the future. We'll see. We'll see. We'll have to remember last year because last year Nicholas graduated from high school, and we were very, very, very fortunate. As we now know, we were very, very fortunate. We took a trip to England to celebrate his high school graduation, and then we did the Stampin' Up trip right after that, which was a Greek Isles Mediterranean cruise. And I'm so thankful that we have all of those memories from last year. And so, I mean, that's, yeah, you can't take away the memories. So
Yeah.
I'm very thankful for that. Okay, let me read. Karen likes the cards. It's so fun getting to watch each of you make a card. Thank you so much. Dee says, I totally get the traveling thing. Even if it were safe, where would you go to not possibly be in the hot zone? Yeah. I know. It's so scary. And, and we don't just travel for, the fun of it. I have parents that live in British Columbia, I'm in Boston, and that's on the other coast, right? So, you typically do not drive to the West Coast from the East Coast. I mean, maybe some people do, but I don't. And so I've never done that, and I don't anticipate doing that. So it's really hard. And then also along the way, you have to rely on probably stopping sometimes, and when you get exposed at that point. So it's going to be interesting times for traveling coming up, but I think our cards today were hopefully positive. Like my card had, let hope be your anchor through the storms of life. We do need to have hope. You
Yeah.
can't just the light's a little wonky. Are you gonna help me or no?
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Put
yeah,
it this way.
okay,
Oh,
okay.
oh.
We're gonna get a light. Anyway,
Okay.
we
Well,
have we have
we'll
light
figure it out
issues.
later.
And then Nicholas's card is delivering lots of positive thoughts. And as card makers right now, we have this great way of sending a happy card to someone in the mail. And if they're scared to open it right away, just tell them, just put it on the quarantine pile and let it sit for a few days. And then if there was any virus on it, it would die off. So you can definitely still send cards to people. Most people have a way to mail cards in their local area. You need to find where your post box is. And like for me, like if I'm mailing packages, I just schedule a pickup from the post office. And for cards, I have a little mailbox down the road, so it's a short little walk there. And so we can definitely still mail cards. So that's a great
Yeah.
thing to do at this time. And I'm glad for this hobby that we can spread the love around a little bit. So Nicholas, any last words?
Uh,
No.
no. I mean, I think these, stamping with, your mom or other person in your life who stamps is it's a great quarantine activity. Especially if you have
Yeah.
kids who are finishing up exams or bored on the weekends. Um,
Make
they,
them stamp with you.
yeah, they're not going to go out. They can't go out. I mean,
They're not supposed to go out, most of them, but yeah, make them come in and stamp with you and rediscover coloring and
yeah,
doing some art, because it is art. And there's also, if you don't like cards, there's lots of 3D projects. I have lots of 3D projects on my blog too, so if you
lots of
wanted
3D projects,
lots of 3D
like
projects.
tons.
So usually you just need a scoring board, maybe some dies, but it's definitely another fun activity. All right, guys, I will update. Oh, and someone's from BC. Oh, yes. Hi, Miran. And she's a friend from BC, and my home province, but she's on the island. She's on.
Vancouver Island, eh?
Yeah,
Wow, that's awesome.
yeah. I was telling Nicholas that he should have gone to UVic, University of Victoria, because it was so beautiful when we were
It's
there. I
beautiful.
was like, you would love being there, but he chose Waterloo.
Yep.
Yeah, Waterloo's great though too. Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, I'm going to update my links after this video. I was really late getting my blog post done, so I'll have to add the link to my blog post. And from there, you can get to the supply list. And I will also update my blog with a link to this video if you're watching it after the fact. All right, guys, have a great week, and I will see you back here next week with another Casing Tuesday card.
Awesome.
Bye,
Take care.
everyone.
Stay safe.
Bye.